Hey guys, so in today's book review I'm going to be talking about a book called The Apartment, and this is by S.L. Gray, and you would have seen this book in my come shopping with me video where I went bargain book shopping and I bought a ton of books. And I remember saying in that video that I was really intrigued by this one. It sounded quite creepy. And I knew absolutely nothing about it. When I picked it up, I literally just saw the cover, thought that looks interesting, and then I read the back and it sounded like it was a book that I would enjoy. Knew nothing about the author. Hadn't heard of this author before, and when I looked in the front of the book, S.L. Gray is actually a combination of two authors who have joint written this book. I'm not sure what their names are separately. Does it say? It's a collaboration between Sarah Lotz and Louis Greenberg. So yeah, and apparently Sarah is an award-winning novelist, a screenwriter with a fondness for the macabre. Her collaborative solo novels have been translated into over 25 languages. She currently lives in the UK with her family and animals. And Louis is a Johannesburg-bred fiction writer and editor. He's been a bookseller for several years, and yeah, he writes normally vampire fiction and post-apocalyptic fiction. But this book is neither of those things. It's a very creepy, I don't know if you call it a thriller or horror. I think I would go with a horror. I really enjoyed it. I couldn't really find anything about this on Goodreads, so I don't know how well it's known. I'm sure you can probably get it off Amazon. But yeah, I picked it up randomly in a bargain shop, and I would definitely pick up more by these authors because it was really good. From the blurb, I knew it was going to be interesting. It basically focuses on a couple, Mark and Steph, and at the very beginning of the book they have a break-in. They suffer a home invasion in their house, and they both react slightly differently, and they both react, you know, they have different emotions following the aftermath of the trauma of it all. They have a little girl together, and yeah, they both react very differently in this situation, and they have like developing marital issues due to the break-in, and they're both very tense in the relationship. They're not sure what to do to get over this, so they decide to do a house swap for a week. And this is where you go online and you basically swap house with a stranger. So they'll come and live in your house for a week and you go live in their house for a week. So it's like a really cheap way to have a vacation, because they figured if they went away and had a vacation, then it might, you know, help relax them and solve some of their issues. They're not feeling very comfortable in their own home, as often people feel after having a home invasion. So they decide to do a house swap with a couple they meet online, and it's a house swap to Paris. So they're going to go to Paris and this couple is going to come to them. But yeah, it doesn't go to plan. They're kind of thinking of being like, oh, it's going to be a romantic, luxurious getaway in Paris, but yeah, it doesn't go so well. So they arrange to do the house swap, they arrange childcare for their child, and just the two of them head off to this Paris vacation, and things just go like, it's just a continual thing of one bad thing happening after another. And they get to this apartment, this flat, and it's really manky, it's really old-fashioned, it's really run down, not what they were expecting at all, not what they saw in the pictures. It is right in the heart of Paris, but it's just really quite a grim place. But they decide to stay and try and make the best of things. But as they go around the apartment, more and more creepy details start to stick out from them. They make some pretty gross discoveries, and psychologically things, like I said, they both dealt with the break-in differently, but things seem to be worse for Mark, the husband. He seems to be dealing with the trauma much worse than Steph. Steph has a lot of anxiety and slight resentment towards Mark, but yeah, Mark's kind of going off in this whole other direction, and they thought going on this vacation would make things better, but it really doesn't. It actually exacerbates things and makes it way worse. And on top of all of that, they discover that the couple that was supposed to be living in their house never showed up, which is very bizarre. They don't know what's happened. They don't know if they were scammed, or if they were real people all along, if something more sinister is happening. So after the horrendous time they have in Paris, they manage to make it back home. And when they make it back home, they think, okay, let's just try and forget about that. That was awful. But they kind of get like a creeping sense that something has followed them from the Paris apartment and is now in their home. And just the creepy experiences they have there is kind of like things start to happen in their own home, and things don't feel quite right. And like I said, things, again, just go from bad to worse. This book, I thought when I first started it, I thought, okay, it's going to be kind of like a creepy thriller. The people they swap with are going to be, there's something wrong with them. Then it kind of went on to like a paranormal, and then it kind of moved on to more psychological. And the more it went into the psychological, the more creepy. Like the ending, like it gets really dark really fast. It's not that big of a novel. It's just under 300 pages. So yeah, things go from like bad to worse very quickly in this book. And the more you learn about the husband and trauma he had in the past, that is also brought up, and things from her past as well. And yeah, things, like I said, it's very dramatic, and it goes really like off very quickly, which I liked, because I liked faster paced books. It's definitely not a slow burn. I'm pretty sure I read this in like 1 to 2 sittings. I really wanted to know what was happening. It was very creepy. Highly recommend if you're looking for something different. Yeah, I would say it was like a psychological horror, if that's the genre. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I haven't heard anyone else review these authors or this book before. It kind of says here, it says gripping, creepy as hell, and the dead will linger for days afterwards. The dread will linger for days afterwards, sorry. It says Mark and Steph are left traumatised when armed robbers break into their home brutally attack them. Shaken, they decide to get away and leave their troubles behind. A house swap in Paris with a couple they meet online, the Petites, that was their name, Petites. Seems to provide the perfect escape, but upon arriving their week's luxurious break, they find themselves in a festering rundown apartment. And then Steph attempts to contact the Petites. She gets no answer. Unable to relax following a series of increasingly unsettling events, they decide to return home. Yet when they arrive, neither of them can shake the feeling that there is now something sinister about their own home. As time passes, Mark is terrorised by a series of unsettling visions. But is it all in his imagination, or is there something far more worrying explanation? So yeah, it says deep and dark and deeply disturbing. Trust me, these tense and frightening paced horror is not for kids or for the faint-hearted. And I'm still shuddering. That's by R.L. Stein. So yeah, I highly recommend this book if you can find it. It was a really good read. Quite creepy. I think it's definitely made, I think I gave it like 4 stars. It's definitely made it up there with this year's reading novels. So yeah, if you can find it, get it and read it. That's my recommendation. So yeah, very good novel. So I am going to leave the video there, and if you have any comments or thoughts about this book, then leave them in the comments down below. And if you'd like to see more horror or thriller book reviews, then make sure to subscribe to this channel. So as always, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye guys.